Hi. So in this video, I will show you how to use mlpack for machine learning in C++. So mlpack is a fast header-only C++ machine learning library, and it also has many bindings available in other different languages like Python, Julia, Go, and R. And it also provides a command line interface, that is command line tools, using which you can use to train and test models without writing any piece of code. So let's go and quickly set up mlpack. So I will go to, I will click on this documentation link and I'll go to this URL mlpack.org/docs and I will click on build mlpack from source. So it will open up the documentation. I will scroll a bit up. So you can see mlpack requires three dependencies. So Armadillo is a library which is used for linear algebra. And small n is a library which is used for numerical optimization, and serial is for serializing and deserializing models. So if you want to store models in some files in a particular file format, then you can use serial for that. So let's go to this section, additional build options. So here are some options that we can use during the build. So download dependencies we can use for downloading n small n and serial. Now note that here they are mentioning it explicitly that to install Armadillo this way is not recommended, and it is better that you use the system package manager. So we will do that. And there are a few additional options like the install prefix and the debug flag. So let's go and install. I will open my terminal. So first let's install the dependencies which we will need from the package manager. So I will use the command sudo apt-get install lib. First we need Armadillo, so lib armadillo dev. And also I think it will be better if we also download Doxygen so that we can build the documentation. So I will add Doxygen and also GraphViz because I think Doxygen requires that. So let's install these. It's almost installed. So now let's create a new directory, mlpack, and cd to that. Okay. So now I'll go to the repository of mlpack and I will go to the latest releases. So the latest release is mlpack 4.2.0. So I will copy this link address and let's use wget to get this archive. Okay. So now let's extract this archive. So tar xvzf 4.2.0. Okay. Okay. So you can see that it has extracted the files to this folder. So now we don't no longer need this archive. So I will remove it. Okay. So now let's go to this directory and I will create a new directory build. Let's cd to that. Okay. So now let's build the library using CMake. So I will use this command. So I want to download the dependencies, that is and small n and serial, using this download dependencies option. I will mention the install prefix as installer in the current directory and I will build it with debug mode. So let's press enter. So you can see it was able to find the armadillo so file in the system directory. Okay, so build files have been generated now. So now I will use make and install. Now make sure that you are not using make minus J8 or make minus J4 to run multiple jobs for make, because um, mlpack is actually a heavily templated library, so it can put quite some load on your system, and it is very much possible that the operating system will kill the process because it consumes too much RAM. So just use this make install without the minus J option. So currently it will also build all the command line tools so that I can show you guys like how we can use command line tools as well for running some examples. It may take a bit of time, so let's wait for a while. Okay, so the mlpack library has been built and it has been installed. So on my machine, it took about 35 to 40 minutes to build the library, but depending on your machine, it can take more or less time. So let's check the install dir folder. So there are two folders, include and bin. So I will go to include. Now you have to make sure that you have all these files in this folder. So you have mlpack, serial, and small n, then this stb. So these are all the folders that you want. And let's now go to the bin folder, and you can see there are so many command line tools which has been built. Now note that it took so much time to build this library on my machine because I think most of the time it was building these command line tools. So if you don't need command line interface, then what you can do is you can go to the mlpack 4.2.0 directory and you can open cmake lists. And here you can see there's one option, build CLI executables. So you can just set this to off and it will not build the CLI tools, and it should probably then take a lot less time than it took. So mlpack library has now been installed. So I think the only thing which is remaining is to build the documentation, and I think that will be really helpful for you as well, because otherwise you will have to manually go to each header file and look at the documentation. So let's build the documentation now. We had installed oxygen, so I will just generate a doxy file here. Yeah, so doxy file is generated, so let's open it. Okay, I will not change too much here. I don't care of this project name and everything. The only thing I want to change is the input, the directory which we want to build. So let me have a look at it first. Okay, so mlpack 4.2.0 and source. Okay, mlpack 4.2.0 and source. So this is the folder where we need to search for all the files which has the documentation. And then we also want to make it recursive. So yes, we want to change this to yes. Oops. And also I don't want to build latex, so I will set this generate latex option to no. Okay, I think that should be it. And what we can do now is doxygen, doxygen, and then doxy file. So you can see it is generating all these documentation from all the source files. Now you may not specify the source folder, and maybe you can specify some other subdirectory. For example, you can specify mlpack source mlpack so that it will only generate a documentation for the files which are present in source/mlpack directory. But for now, I think this is okay. I think it will take one more minute to build this documentation. Okay, so it has built the documentation now, and we can see there's an HTML folder created. And if we go to HTML, then you can see there are so many files here. And if we search for index.html, then this is the file which will be the home page of our documentation. So this is the home page of the documentations. I've opened index.html file in the HTML folder. The home page doesn't contain much, but if you go to class list, you can see there are lots of classes here. And I will go to class index, and you can see even more classes here. And let me try to open some documentation. For example, let's see what this type has. So you can see this fast lstm.hpp file, and the class name is fast lntm type. And you can see it has a graph here, inheritance graph. So it is inheriting from this mlpack layer, and you can see very good documentation generated here. Like it has list of all the public member functions and also the description of each of these functions. So I think this is very helpful, and it will help you out like when you are coding and when you want to look for documentation very quickly. So I think for this video, that's it. I will show you guys some examples in the next video. So please stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you found this video informational.